All right, next story I want to go to. I was going to go to this story, but I don't think it's appropriate to go now. I'm going to go to the story of that later, and you'll see why I skipped it for a quick minute. But we will come back to it. Stephen A. Smith is not happy with Jasmine Crockett for opposing Trump on everything. Rob, if you got this clip to play, here is Stephen A. Smith. He's got one that's about criticizing Chuck, but this one is specifically Jasmine Crockett. Go for it.
I've listened to Jasmine Crockett. Both AOC and Jasmine Crockett are welcome on this show. I respect the hell out of both of them. I'm not here to disrespect anybody. I'm only talking about what strategy is going to work. When I hear Jasmine Crockett talking about how I'm just against all things and everything Trump, is that legislating? Isn't it an obligation that you have to come up with something? If the other party is in office, you have to go from thinking that you're going to get what you want if your party was in the White House, and instead transitioning to how can I work with the other party to get some of what I want, because I know I'm not going to get most of what I want because they won the election. How do
Actually, I mean, even that small little 47 seconds, he's making a very, very good point about Jasmine Crockett. Vinny, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, listen, I like Stephen A. I like the sports talk, and you know, he's a great freaking. He's the best in the game.
You're not with it. You're not.
I'm not
just
buying,
because he didn't vote for Trump and support him?
Not vote. No, it's the flip flop of every single person.
You're calling Stephen A. a flip flopper.
Just a couple months ago when they were
called
sitting
LeBron
here,
a flopper. And Stephen A. a flip-flopper?
Let's just be... let's be...
Don't get it twisted.
Enemies,
LeBron
bro.
is the greatest flopper of all time.
He doesn't know the flame. I'm just saying...
Have a little respect. He won an Oscar, bro.
Can he finish? Go ahead.
Oh, now we know how it
Every
feels.
single... Are you done? Every single one of these guys that were on the left, every guy's girl, now from the Chenks to the Stephen A's to the Chris Cuomo's to all these people, I'm not buying it at all, okay? And you say this all the time, it's the market. What does the market want? They're shifting because of the market. Listen, with all due respect, I'm not buying none of that shit from none of them, okay? Because they were still on Kamala, they were still on Biden, they're still on that anti-American bullshit sentiment. Because if you want to put in people like Biden, and you want to put in people like if you voted for Kamala Harris, what the hell do you even stand on? What was your thing? Just not Trump. So it just shifted. All that Trump hating, he's the worst, he's Hitler. I'm not saying Steven said this, but all of them were anti-Trump. We've been saying Trump is this guy since when? Since 2016. We've had this guy's back. And it's not just blind loyalty, Tom. It wasn't that. It was the proof in the pudding. He came in with Russia collusion, Obama and all these guys freaking spying on him. He had all this shit. He had COVID. He had all this stuff, a Russian asset, all that bullshit Putin talk, all right? And then now he's back. Everybody voted for him, and they're all changing their tune because they have to. Because what is he supposed to do, Tom? Sit there and be like this? Nah. I think Kamala, would have done a good job. And Jasmine Crockett and all these people, once they're in office, guys, what are they going to do? And I keep going back to this. What's going to happen to the border, Tom? You put AOC in charge. You put Jasmine Crockett in charge. You put any of these Democrats in charge. What are they going to do? That's my number one thing.
What Stephen A. is saying, Stephen A. is saying that's why they're not the ones that should be in office, because they're extreme. That's what Stephen A. is saying. Stephen A. is saying, if you're showing that everything Trump does is wrong, at least Stephen A. will go out there and last year, he will criticize the left and he'll criticize the right, but he still voted for the left. And right after voting for it, comes out and says, hey,
So he didn't see it, but here's my thing, Pat. He didn't see any of this. Just because of this win, now all of a sudden he sees the light?
I'm fully with you because there's a clip. Listen, I understand what you're saying.
I'm just not
Trust
buying
me,
it.
I get everything what you're saying. I'm with you.
Yeah.
There is a clip, Rob, that if you can find it, it's such a great clip. It's a clip of Scott Jennings is talking to this guy, and the guy says, well, I'm a Democrat, and I wasn't for the border. He said, did you vote for Kamala Harris? If you did, you were for the border, because we were not for the border. So don't tell me you're not for the border, right? Mm-hmm. So I get what you're saying. However, if Cenk is all of a sudden getting a little bit more reasonable, is that a bad thing?
No.
If Stephen A. is getting a little bit more reasonable and seeing the the BS, is that a bad thing? If they're going that direction, is that a bad thing? I don't know.
I don't hold on, and I'll come to you. I don't think it's a bad thing, guys. I don't think it's a bad thing, but it's like, let's be realistic. I don't think, like, the talk of presidency, I don't think Stephen A has a chance with the Democratic National, that monster, that beast. The real people are going to be the AOCs, the Bernie Sanders, those type of, the JB Pritzkers, who do not, guys, they are snakes in the grass. I don't want to give them the Gavin Newsoms.
You could say that about them. Do you feel the same way about Stephen A?
No. I think Steve. I don't think he has a chance. I don't think he has a chance.
He's shown 7%, by the way.
He
higher than a lot of other guys.
But do you think that the real base, the real Democratic base, is going to let that disruptor?
No, I don't think they're going to. But also at the same time, you know, if we go back to 2015, when Ann Coulter was asked by Bill Maher today, if you had to vote for who do you think is going to be winning, and he said Trump, and everybody started laughing.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, I'm not saying to you, you know, if Trump goes the way he's going right now, it's very hard for the country to flip to Democrat. Very, very hard. Like, they would have to choose a candidate to screw up so royally that they can't win, like a J.D. Vance or something. That person would screw it up. But if America's doing so well, I don't think they're going the other side. Tom, thoughts?
So I agree with you, and there's a lot of Democrat politicians, and I said it. I said it last Tuesday, and I said it one week ago, not Thursday, but Tuesday prior. I said they are running to the center to portray themselves as edible to a hungry voter. Right. So I don't, but there's two people in there that I think I'm hearing emotion in their voice, and I'm hearing them say this: "You're doing it wrong." And that's what I'm hearing. And you know who I hear that from? I hear that from Stephen A. and I hear it from James Carville. Those are the two. Says, is that the way you're going to say it? Is that what you're going to do? Then just get out of the gosh darn country. Go. So now Carville and Stephen A., probably don't have a ton in common, but they're both saying the same thing in a slightly different way. They're saying, you're doing it wrong, and this isn't going to do. And Stephen A. is encouraging them to try and work with them, work to the middle, and get what you want. Now, does that mean underneath that Stephen A. is about to become MAGA? No. But I think both him and Carville are out there just screaming, hey, you guys, you're doing it wrong. And meanwhile, I do not trust those other ones because I think they will come in with the executive order pen. They will undo a lot of things and not realize that they're going to cause dominoes to fall back in the wrong direction on themselves and America.
Yeah, but Don, I agree with you 100%. But my thing is, all these guys, the Carvilles, everything, it's our messaging is wrong. We lost the base, but the policies, when you strip all that down, when you strip all this like showboating now, it's like, oh, we were wrong. Strip it down to what the Democratic Party has actually become.
Policies,
Pat. That's who they are. Okay, they're going to be open border. They're going to be transgender. They're going to be all that shit. I don't want it.
Watch this clip. Go for it.
Previous administration had priorities about who to let in, including, all kinds of folks who I would argue shouldn't be here. This administration, I guess, is going to set priorities about who not to let in.
But let's just be honest about what those priorities are, right? And by the way, I'm a Democrat here. I did not defend the Biden administration on immigration.
But you voted for him.
So that doesn't mean that I defended him on
immigration. You voted for a continuation of it in 2024, did you not?
I did not vote for his policies on immigration.
But you voted
to
extend the immigration policies of the last administration.
No, I did not vote for that.
The point is, you're in a party that opened the borders, and I'm in a party that closed the borders, and I think the American people prefer it our way.
Well, he's closed the borders.
Crushed it. But here's the point, though. Yeah. What I'm saying to you is, I think in here, a guy like a Stephen A. agrees with Scott Jennings.
Now, right?
Yeah, but there are Democrats that are Democrats for different reasons. So, for example, if I ask you right now, so there's 5 Yankees fans. Do you think 5 Yankees fans are all Yankees fans for the same reasons?
No.
Why are reasons somebody becomes a fan?
Your father was a fan.
Your father was a
Aaron
Yankee.
Judge.
I love a player.
You love a player.
You saw a movie. You're Joe DiMaggio.
From New York.
You watched the movie.
Mickey Mantle.
From Yonkers.
Maybe you bought Mickey Mantle's $10 million card like PBD.
But the point is, the affinity to a sports team is not all the same, right? Okay. Why are you did you vote Republican? You vote for Trump.
Well, I'm an independent. I vote for Trump 100%.
Why? Give me in order of policies.
Why?
Number one.
Policy, border was absolutely first. Border.
Number
Putting
one.
America first. Loving the country. Stepping up to everybody in the world with our trade
So
with China.
number one is what? Number one is border. What's
Number
two?
one is border. Two is holding China accountable.
What's three?
Those are the top two for
Two?
me.
Okay, Tom, what's your top three?
My top three was the first two are right related together. Close the border to stabilize America. Second, America first, not America alone, but America first. It says, and third, I was in favor of resetting international trade.
Boom. Okay, so Adam, let's see. Is yours going to be identical to them because they're on the same
No, mine
page?
is totally different. Number one, he wasn't Kamala, and he's an actual man, and he's a leader. Number two was the border. Number three was peace through strength. I thought that whether it was
Rob,
Joe
what's
Biden
yours?
or Kamala, they were very weak.
Rob, what's yours?
Border, economy, safety.
Yeah, I would put woke agenda with the kids was one of my main ones.
For sure.
I'm sick and tired of the manipulation of what they were doing with girls and all this other stuff. And, the fact that for us to have somebody that I'm supporting to negotiate on my behalf all day long, 100 out of 100 times, I want him negotiating on my behalf. I trust him to negotiate on my behalf than anybody else that's out there right now as a candidate, right? Okay, what's the point? You think Stephen A. Smith is a Democrat for the same reason that Pritzker is a Democrat?
No.
You think Stephen A. Smith's a Democrat, same reason why Jasmine Crockett is a Democrat? You think Stephen A. Smith is a Democrat because, AOC is a Democrat? I saw a post the other day. It said, in 1960s, this was a Democrat. It's a picture of John F. Kennedy.
Yep.
Today, this would be a conservative. Then it says, today, it was a picture of AOC. This is a liberal. But in 1960s, this would be considered a communist.
Yep.
So just think about like some of the things that they're talking about and how much things have changed. So to him, he may be where he's at as an African American. To leave a party like that as an African American is going to be very challenging. And remember, the night is still young. You don't know what's going to happen with his relationship with Trump. You don't know what's going to happen with a lot of other things. And there may be a multiple stepping stone. There may be something in 2028 as a job, then 2032, then 2036. This is not like it's a 4-year play. Stephen A. Smith's political career may be a 12-year plan, not a 4-year plan. If you understand what I'm saying.
Agree. No.
So that is the part where we don't yet know. Did you ever think that RFK was going to join Trump's camp?
No.
Did you ever think Tulsi's going to flip after her going up against Hillary Clinton? Did you ever think some of the stuff that happened was going to happen? There was so many weird things that happened the last 18 months that took place.
Yes.
Night is still young. And for me, I can differentiate and isolate everybody else where you sit there and you have to say, I was wrong.
Yep.
Trump is better for America. For a person to be able to say that, half the people there's a scene one time with Trump's in court. And this guy in court, you ever seen this court like from 30 years ago?
Oh, wait.
The one where the guy says, well, you said this. That's not right. That's not right.
Oh,
correct yourself.
He makes some.
I never said this.
Yeah.
I never said this. I never said this.
Just correct it. Yeah, correct the
apologize.
statement.
I want to see an
Apologize.
apology. And do you see when the man apologizes what Trump does within half a second? You know what Trump's
Moves
reaction
on.
is? Rob, can you please find this clip? Have you guys ever seen this or no?
You said it wasn't a deposition, right? He's in front of
Trump
in front of
demands
Congress.
apology.
I don't think it was a lawyer. In court, Robert. You find it on X,
court.
bro.
It is so. It's old. This is an old footage, Rob. I don't know if you found it or not.
I'm still looking.
Okay. Anyway, so he goes there
Set the table, PPD.
and he
What was going
says,
on?
"Huh."
Set the
in
table. What was
court.
going on? He was in court.
No, I mean I just typed in Trump demands apology in court, old footage, and I can't find it. But if you see it, you'll see the way he handled himself.
I saw it. It was awesome.
What did he say to the guy when he apologized?
He says, correct yourself. That's not true. I never said that. I never said that. I demand an apology. And he says, well, you didn't say that. But I demand an apology. And then the person finally says, I apologize. I found it. Here you go.
Yeah.
I found it. Yeah, this is the one. Rob, I'm going to send it to you if you want to play this clip. But there's a point I'm making with this. There's a point I'm making with this, Rob. If you want to play this. This is in a 2000 hearing that took place.
About like real
He's in
estate and
court,
stuff?
standing against a senator demanding an apology. Watch this. Go for it.
you have a long way to go. And for whatever reason, you have a closed mind. I don't know why. Perhaps you could tell me.
Against evidence that is not substantiated. I have a closed mind against statements that are made about other people in general.
You're going to be very embarrassed in 2 years, sir.
You go on a radio show and you say, now some drunken Indians want to come down here and open a residence.
I didn't say that, sir. Quote it. I didn't say that. Who said that? Who said that? I'd like an apology right now because I didn't say that.
Excuse me, Mr. Imus.
Okay, could I please have an apology?
You can have an apology.
Thank you, sir.
Boom. But watch what happened right there. What happened? What's the moral of the story, Rob? You can play that. Stop.
Apologize and moved on.
That's it.
Yeah.
How long did it take?
Half a second.
Maybe.
And he called him sir. Thank you, sir.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Moved on. So I think we need to go into that.
Yes.
Thank you. Move on. Boom. Instead of no, but da. We're not going to make progress there. The part is like even right now. Watch how you would feel. Watch this. Fauci gets up and he does a video and he says, I have something to say. I want to apologize for the way we handle certain things with COVID. The buck stops with me. I take full responsibility. There are many things I would have done differently. It breaks my heart that many parents weren't able to go and see their grandparents who were dying because of hospitals and the policies that we have. At this phase of my life, this is something I've struggled with. I did my best to try to serve the country that I love the most, that gave me this opportunity. I wanted to make the Fauci family proud. I wanted to make my father proud. And any leader, every one of us makes a lot of mistakes. This was one of the ones that I make. And I hope you receive my apology, even though I know many of you won't. How would you feel if he said that?
I would feel fantastic. And then right after, I want to put his ass in jail for the rest of his life. Plain and simple. I want accountability. I would accept the apology.
The accountability for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I would respect the honesty.
Let me ask you another question. You ever read Bush's book?
No.
George Bush. You ever read Bush's book? George Bush wrote a book. And in the book, he explains the mistakes he made as a president. That's the one right there. What is decision points? He explains the mistakes he made. Now, everybody that writes their books, you go and you're reading it, well, what he did here and what he did there. It's actually a pretty good book when I read it, okay, with some of the mistakes that he made. The Fauci part is massive. Yeah. However, I also do think like the way Trump just met with a former Al-Qaeda guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think that guy belongs in jail?
Of course. What do you mean?
How come you didn't put him in jail? So is Trump a bad leader?
No, I don't think he's a bad leader. But I mean, the guy's in charge of the freaking country.
No, I understand that. All I'm saying to you is, should he have removed the sanctions? That's a form of jail.
Who?
Should Trump have removed the economic sanctions on Syria? See, that's the part, Vinny, that the part about forgive and forget, right? You can forgive. You don't ever forget. Mm-hmm. If we go through this phase of holding, Trump used to be a Democrat at one point. Do we want to go through all the stuff he did in the past? Do we want to hold him accountable for everything with the stuff that came out? I think that's going to constantly. Now, accountability, Fauci's on my top list. When I think of guys that I want to hold accountable. Till today, I want to know what happened with the Epstein list. I want to know what happened with 9/11. I want to know, we've never done a presidential hearing for 9/11. We've never had a presidential hearing.
Unbelievable.
And do you know the hearing that they did? They got rid of the 2.5 terabytes of footage that they had the other day. We had the whistleblower here telling us all these different stories, who was on the payroll, what they knew about all these weird things. We spent $30 million in the late 90s investigating Monica Lewinsky, but we only spend, and by the way, how many people died under Monica Lewinsky? This many people. Matter of fact, someone's health even got better under Monica Lewinsky, right? But under Monica Lewinsky, that's what happens to Monica Lewinsky, Clinton. We spent $30 million to investigate that. Few years later, 9/11 happens. Do you know how much they spent investigating that? Legal? $15 million. Monica Lewinsky, $30 million. 9/11, $15 million.
Wow.
2,977 people, I believe, died on 9/11. Pearl Harbor, you know how many people died? 2,403. 9/11 was the worst single event in the history of America. We only spent $15 million to investigate it. Yeah, I kind of want to know more on what happened, especially today, right? To see who was really behind it. But some of this stuff is for me to know. That's all I want to know. I want to know what happened, and I want to move on. All I'm saying is, just because somebody is giving certain policies, it doesn't mean they're in the same box in category as everybody else. If Stephen A. goes through a evolution of this process and all of a sudden in the next 24 months he comes out and he says, look, I see myself as a center-right. There's many policies that I'm on the social side, but a lot of policies for me lean more towards the conservative side. So I had to choose. I would have probably run as an independent, but I know as an independent you don't stand a chance. I'm running as a Republican. Then what do you do?
As Stephen A. Smith?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's going to run on that policy, good. I think it's a good thing.
You give him a fair chance?
I'd give him a fair shot.
Okay, so what I'm saying is be patient.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't know what's going to happen. Be patient. The conversion process requires the community to be patient and willing to allow others to see. Some see later. We have relatives that gave their lives to Christ on their deathbed. And we have people that gave their life to Christ. Tico one day comes up to me and says, I want to get baptized on the beach. I said, you do? Yeah. Dylan says, I want to get baptized.
Yeah.
Who walked up with him?
Me.
That's right. Well, who did he see get baptized?
Me.
And then afterwards he got inspired. And he said, I want to do it on my own. I said, whenever you're ready. How old was he when he did that? When did you do it?
2 years ago.
He was 9 years old when he did it. But he did it.
Yep.
But some do it at 82 on their deathbed. Who's right?
Who's
wrong?
Nobody's wrong.
Dude, it's be patient. Be patient. That's the part where I think I am so impressed with the way he's leading. I mean, it is so impressive with the way he's leading. I'm specifically talking about Trump. It's so impressive the way he's leading. Where on one end, he can chew out somebody saying, you're ABC fake news. On one end, he can say, Reuters, these guys, you can't be in the plane because what you're doing is BS. On the other end, he can go and sit down with Saudi, Qatar, and these leaders and try to find a way to bring peace in the Middle East. You really think the guys on the military side, and by the way, the way he did it, it's so interesting the way he did it. So he goes, brings peace, and then signs a $143 billion, what deal? Military deal.
Yeah.
So he does it in a way that the military guys are making money and there is no war. Did you understand the way he's doing it? So, because he also doesn't want these bullshit lobbyists from the military side to come out and be upset about it. Hey, y'all come out, let's do peace, but you got to buy this much and you got to buy $500 billion of other stuff. It's very interesting how he's getting the team of rivals to all want to do business together. This is a clinic that everybody has to watch the way he's doing his second term than the first term. It's a clinic, the way he's doing it. Anyways, let's get to Adam. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I just want to weigh in on essentially the Stephen A. thing and how Vinny was kind of commenting on that. I think the speech that you gave to Vinny was very powerful because it's about the ability to forgive and adjust and evolve. You know, Stephen A. Smith, someone who did not vote for Trump, he is now basically coming over to the other side. He said, you know, you don't preach to the converted, you don't preach to the choir, you preach to basically independence. And why did Trump win, lose, and then win the election is because basically politics is a game of addition, not subtraction. He convinced people in the middle, the movable middle, hey man, listen, come over to my way of thinking. And you have to give someone like Stephen A. Smith the grace and the respect to say, yeah, maybe you were wrong about who you voted for, but welcome to our team. If you alienate them and say, you're an idiot, and you didn't vote for the right person, you're never going to win people over. You know, they say you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Well, he checked himself. And something that I've learned from PBD is, PBD, correct me if I'm wrong, how often do you say, America is very forgiving? People will tear you down, but then if you apologize, they help build you back up. One of the best
That's
messages.
a Christian quality.
Yeah. One of the best messages I hear from people is like, man, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I couldn't stand you. But man, thank you for coming around. Thank you for being reasonable. Thank you for having the ability to adapt. What do we say here all the time? Outwork, out-improve, out-strategize, outlast. Stephen A. Smith is evolving. And you have to give people the ability to evolve over time.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens here as he maneuvers. And if he tries to win over the Democratic Party, I think it's going to be very challenging to do so. But we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen.
Well, as you guys know, in 2 weeks, Mondays at the 26th is Memorial Day. And, you know, everybody, and I get it. It's time off, barbecues, you know, we get to hang out, we get to drink. I mean, I'm not drinking, but, you know, that day isn't all about that. It's remembering the brave men and women who fought and fell to give us every single freedom, every single right that we have. And at Valuetainment, we don't take that freedom lightly. We know it's brought with blood and encouraged. So we got something on Memorial Day. We have a Memorial Day collection right here. We have the hats, Army, Navy, what else? Air Force. We got it all. So if you guys want to go to that section, and as the video is playing, we have a, if you purchase anything in a Memorial Day package, you get a sticker pack of every single branch, and you get a free American flag keychain. If you go to vtmerch.com, that's where it's going to be.
Go to vtmerch.com and place your order, folks. And if it isn't for you, if you know somebody that has or served in the military, send it to them. On top of that, Rob, did I send you that picture? This puts the biggest smile on my face. This is one of the best things about the Future Looks Bright brand is you get to put a smile on somebody else's face. Here's somebody that bought the lemon campaign that we did, Zest It Forward, and send it to someone. And look what it says here. I love that smile. Mother's Day can feel different when the kids are grown and the nest is empty, but your journey as a mom doesn't end. It just evolves along with you. Let's take a moment to celebrate strength, wisdom, sense of humor, and the love of the empty nester moms who continue to nurture, support, and inspire. Even from afar, we deserve to be acknowledged and celebrated every day. How awesome is that? And look at the smile she's got there, Rob. If you want to go to the next pages, she got the box, she got the card, she got the video, she got the hat. So if you're somebody that's saying, I was never in the military, but make a list of a handful of people, make their day, send something to them, put a smile on their faces. Sometimes we just need to, one of the ways to cheer yourself up is make somebody else's day. It's always been my way of doing it. If I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, let me find a way to make somebody else's day. I feel better about it. So go place an order, zest it forward, make someone's day by visiting vtmerch.com. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.